Welcome back to Hanging Out with Successful Bar Exam Takers. This is a really special episode that we're doing today because we've just gotten the California bar results from February of 2022. And in that exam, there were only 485 repeat bar takers who passed the exam. It's a very small number for a very big state. And I have the honor of being able to talk to one of those 485. John, welcome to the show and congratulations.
Hi, Jackson. Thanks for having me.
This has got to be an incredible moment for you.
Words cannot describe how I'm feeling right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, I really want you to share your story with our audience. You and I got a chance to work together pretty closely, and we're going to talk about some of the tools and things that you did. But your story of how you got to take the bar exam is pretty remarkable. And so I'd like you to share that if you would.
Absolutely. I took a different path to the bar exam. Initially, about five years ago, I'd been working for my dad in his law practice, shredding papers and pouring coffee. And as time went on, I realized that I wanted to become a lawyer. But I was so tied into the business development, getting cases, that I really couldn't make the full-time commitment to law school. California is one of the few states that allows an apprenticeship program where you can study under a judge or a lawyer and get credits like what Kim Kardashian has done. And so I took the same path. After a year of study and correspondence study with the bar, I took the baby bar exam, passed that on the first try, and was accepted to Lincoln Law School of San Jose, did night classes for 4 years, and ended up here today where we are.
Yeah, and I got to say, you're not Kim Kardashian, but we're pretty proud of you. So you sat for the California bar in 2021, and you came up short, and then you came to us for February 2022. Do you remember what your score was on that previous exam?
I scored a 1352.
Okay, and you need 1390 to pass. So not a bad score at all, but not quite there. And I don't know if you remember when you first talked to me, we talked about what you do to find those extra points. Do you remember that conversation?
Absolutely.
One of the things that I said was, you got to start all over. You can't just do more of the same and hope that you get there. And I think one of the things that's really to your credit, John, is that you embrace that philosophy. Can you talk a little bit about what that meant to you as you started out and started studying with us?
It was really almost a complete remodel of how my thought process was as far as delivery of a passing answer. In other words, in law school, we're trained to IRAC, and your philosophy, your methodology of FLA was a completely different outside the box. And I really had to sell out to it, because when you go through law school as a law student, you're going with the pack and you want to succeed and you're going where everybody else is going. But unfortunately, that system that originally came out of Harvard Law School 100 years ago is very cumbersome. And when you're under time pressure and you've got to deliver, your methodology, the fact law analysis methodology of writing, allows you not to get tripped up as much when you're under pressure. You can write freely because you're using the facts rather than using the law to form your answers. And it just creates a flow. It was amazing. When I was in that exam, the bar, you're under pressure, the time's ticking, and using the T-charts to find the disputes, because the issues arise from the disputes. And that system just, it works. And for those of you, listen, YouTube, FLA works. You can pass any bar exam in any state with this system. It works. And I'm just so grateful to you guys for coaching me, Jackson especially, for being one of my mentors. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. You've got to get in with good people who care about you, your program, the altruistic values of your program, and the mental coaching that you provided really is unlike any other bar review. And that's honestly what made the difference for me. It was the first time I took the test, I went in there with a certain mindset, a white knuckle mindset, where I've got to get this done, I'm going to power through. And with your coaching, you switched my paradigm and you turned it on its head. And I didn't go in there saying, I'm going to white knuckle this and I'm going to make this happen. I knew I was prepared. I knew I was going to go in there and kick butt. And there were times where I got nervous and there was some friction, but I went back to all the foundation that we laid throughout the course, and it served me very well.
Yeah, thank you. That's very kind of you to say. You and I did personal coaching together, and it was fascinating to watch the evolution of your work, but also to watch the evolution of your mindset, right? You went from this, as what you described, white knuckle, got to push it all out. You remember those first essays you wrote for me? They're pretty scary, weren't they?
They sure were.
Yeah. And then you began to catch on to the approach, and you began to realize that you had deeper knowledge, and that deeper knowledge started to express itself in a more compact and direct way. And you began to gain confidence as you were going through the writing. Is that a safe statement?
Yes, absolutely. It took some time. It took effort. This did not come easy.
Yeah.
It took tremendous commitment, but to switch to a new methodology was far surpassed what I was taught in law school as far as how to deliver under time pressure, how to deliver when the bell rings. When that bell rings, you got to go 100 miles an hour. And to have the right system, to have the right tools is extremely important, because pressure changes everything. Pressure changes everything. You can write an essay like a total scholar when the clock's not ticking, but how are you going to perform when you're under those conditions? And FLA, using those facts, finding the disputes, it's a completely different mindset on how you're approaching a fact pattern, a problem, digesting what's in front of you, and delivering the goods. And it works, man. It works.
Right. I want to talk, thank you. I want to talk a little bit about the study process. Did you use photo reading as you were studying?
I didn't purchase the photo reading course, but I did adopt a lot of the methodologies that you talked about in our personal coaching. And I did use the photo reading methodologies to digest the big outlines.
Right. And then you used mind mapping, right? For that to activate what you were skimming or photo reading. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, it was, that was big. That was a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. And was that something different than what you had done previously?
I had used some mind maps when I studied for the baby bar, but the MindMeister and being able to go in there electronically and create your own maps and take it pretty deep as you want to go really helped. When I was in the test, the thing about the mind maps is I'm a visual learner, and the mind maps, I was almost able to see. I wasn't so much memorizing rules, but I could see where things were. I could spatially recall in the mind maps certain elements of definitions, things of that nature, and just relying on my subconscious mind, because under those conditions, sometimes your conscious mind will let you down, unfortunately, and really just letting go and letting that happen.
Yeah. And so let's talk about the multi-state exam, because we teach this idea of selective intuition using your non-conscious mind. How did that work for you?
It worked. I saw my scores slowly increase over time. I really like how, you have that spaced repetition. I really didn't see two of the same questions twice, which I really liked. I used Adaptabar for my first attempt at the bar, and I saw a lot of questions over and over again. And that's great for your confidence, because the score is going to go up, but is it a true reflection of your real performance? And your multi-state course not only gave me the way that you worded the questions, the way they're worded, and the way that they're delivered, and the cadence of their delivery helped me get the law in my head. And the scores started to go up and up. And about a week before the exam, I said, okay, I'm feeling good. I'm in good shape.
Yeah. And I remember our last call before the exam, and I said to you, what, you're going to pass and you're ready and you're ready to go. And I knew that in your mind, you knew that too. And you really felt it, didn't you?
I did. The main reason why I felt I was going to pass. One was the mindset that you helped me understand, got me thinking correctly, got me thinking winning, and and that circumvented a lot of pressure. When I walk in there saying, okay, I'm not going to get tripped up on an essay because I don't know how to write. It was very smooth. It was very smooth. On my first attempt using IRAC, there were some issues where I got tripped up because I wasn't confident on how to first off extrapolate the information and deliver it in a cogent way on some esoteric issues that came up. And with FLA, it was a matter of, okay, I see the issue and now I can write about it. I can write about it confidently and I can do it within the time allotted.
Yeah, that's really impressive. And we know that you had at least a 38-point increase in your score. That's a big jump to get.
Wow.
How did it feel when you realized only 485 repeat bar takers in the entire state of California passed?
Wow. That's the first time I've heard that statistic, and it's very humbling.
Yeah.
I can honestly tell you right now that I am just in a state of gratitude. I put in the work, but I know that the man upstairs definitely took the third step for me. And it's amazing. It's amazing, Jackson. I cannot believe that I'm sitting here, doing this interview right now. It's amazing.
Yeah, but I know you also imagined it in your brain ahead of time, right? We talked about that there would come a day when we would get to do this. And so now we're realizing that thing that we've manifested, that you've manifested through your activity. There was a 24% pass rate for repeat bar takers. It's a huge state. There's a handful of people that get through. Very few people that come from challenging the bar exam on the baby bar. So your story, though you're not as attractive as Kim Kardashian, but your story is remarkable. And she hasn't done that last piece yet that you did. It's really something to accomplish. Tell us about when you got the results on Friday night. California releases at 6 p.m. on a Friday night. What was that like? What happened?
Wow. I was sitting in this office here with my dad, who's been practicing law for 40 years and has been my biggest cheerleader, has just been through it all with me, through the baby bar, through law school, and has just encouraged me the whole time. And I was so nervous that just because I hadn't passed before, and I know what it feels like to fail, and I didn't want that feeling again. And so that's why I was nervous. I had him check for me right at 6 o'clock. And I was sitting over, there's an easy chair over in this corner, and he's sitting here at the computer, and he turns back at me, he says, "Hey, you passed." And I just went crazy, just the biggest yeehaw. We popped a bottle of champagne, and it was just celebration. Unbelievable.
That's what we like to hear, a celebration. I am incredibly proud of you, John. This is the first time we've had a chance to talk since the results came out. So I am saying publicly what I would say to you privately, which is you're an extraordinary guy. You're going to be a fabulous attorney. I know your dad and your whole family are super proud of you. We join in that pride and enthusiasm for you. You put in so much work. You did what we asked you to do. You embraced the study approach, all of the elements. You invested in what we asked you to do, and you got this result. And it must just feel like you're on top of the world today.
Incredible. It's incredible to from where I was from not passing to selling out to your program in a good way, getting a proper mindset, having good mentors like yourself coach me and say, here's how you have to think, and to pass that test and be here today. It's unbelievable. I encourage anybody, if you want to pass the bar in California, Celebration Bar Review, Jackson.
Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. We look forward to the great things you're going to do. I know you're going to stay in touch and continue to be part of our community. And we just want to congratulate you. We are so thrilled to be part of your celebration. And I know your family and the practice must be excited to have you joining them imminently now. And you can really hold your head up. You did something that very few people can say they've done. And just wow. I think just wow is where I leave it.
Thank you, Jackson. You gave me all the tools.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Thank you for being with us today. I know this will inspire and encourage so many people. And we want to thank all of you that are in the audience. Look, if you're thinking you can't do this in California, I want you to know that if you apply yourself the way John did, if you put the effort in that he put in and you sell out to the system, you can be successful. And I hope that John's story today will encourage and inspire you to take that next step. Thanks for being with us, John. Best of luck and best wishes to you in the future.
My pleasure, Jackson. Thank you for having me.
All right.